good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You already know who this is. JP with PMP, dropping some seeds to help you guys grow your business. Hope you guys are having a fantastic morning. I'm headed to a Mike Ferry training session here in Orange County. The team was there yesterday. I couldn't make it, but I'm on my way there today. Today's topic, I want to just get straight into it. It seems something that has actually been occurring a lot more in our company, which is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. And that is the new agents getting listings. What does that mean? Well, that means that it's agents that are in our company that are less than 3 months, maybe even less than 6 months in our company, and are doing a great job. Doing a great job at prospecting, doing a great job at getting appointments, doing a great job at locking in listings. But then the problem occurs of, how do we get this thing to the finish line? How do we get this home to the finish line, get these sellers paid, get everyone paid, get the buyers moved into their new home, and et cetera, and et cetera. And we are starting to see the repercussions of that. And what does that mean? The repercussions are, we're starting to see our new agents that don't have the experience yet in dealing with a seller when it's time to negotiate. Because remember, presenting your proposition of being the best realtor for the job, the sales price, the commission, whatever that may be, that's just one task, right? That's just step number one in getting your foot in the door. Step number two is actually getting the property under contract, right, where you get it offers on it. Step number three is getting into escrow. Step number four is getting through all the the contingencies. And then step number five is actually getting the transaction closed, which is what you originally got paid for, right? I mean, that's the whole reason why the seller hired you. The issue we're having in our company is a lot of our new agents, I'm going to say maybe scared, maybe a little bit intimidated, and calling the seller with bad news. Right now, you and I both know the market is shifting, right? In a good way. In a good way, meaning the buyers are starting to get some sort of leverage in negotiating closing costs and negotiating repairs or etc. We weren't having this problem 12 months, 24, maybe even 36 months ago, because the homes were just selling so quick. So many offers. It was like, if the buyer even dared to ask for closing costs, even dared to ask for repairs, we're not even going to look at that offer, right? Well, things are changing, ladies and gentlemen. Things are changing, and as I mentioned before in many of my videos, is now is the time that you have to sharpen up your tools. Listen, we don't ever stop growing. Our business never starts learning. Our business never starts growing. The only time that we stop growing is when we stop learning, right? Then we stop learning, we stop earning, which is a very common saying that that you hear a lot. So you got to think about, okay, well, now I was able to get on the phone, I was able to prospect, I was able to lock in an appointment, which is fantastic, right? Awesome. Number two, I'm sorry, is actually getting the contract signed, getting the seller to say, yes, I'm going to hire you for the job, which is fantastic. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, that is a huge accomplishment. I was not doing that in my career in 3, 6, 12 months. No, I wasn't. I was not doing that. So I'm very impressed by a lot of our agents and how fast they're learning. And I'm going to have to give it up to the team. I'm going to have to give it up to the mentors. I'm going to have to give it up to even other agents in my company that are always willing to help the new agents out, which is fantastic. That's the reason why we don't have any offices in our company, right? So anyways, back to the topic. The topic is, okay, so what do we do, right? Well, number one, you have to learn how to negotiate, ladies and gentlemen. Realtors think that we get hired for the job of selling a home. No, we don't get a job for selling the home. The home sells itself, right? We get the job of negotiating the best terms for our customer, whether it be my buyer or whether it be my seller. And I think a lot of the times, and this has actually happened to me in my company, where one of my agents submits an offer on one of my properties, and they think, being that it's in the company, that I'm going to give them the best deal. And the reality is I can't. I don't own the property. That would be a disservice. I would be going against my fiduciary duty for my seller, because that's what I signed to give them the best deal, because the realtor's in my office. And I know a lot of people do that. I know a lot of other companies do that, but I don't do that. So therefore, sometimes it can create a conflict of interest, where sometimes my agents are like, well, you're my broker, you're supposed to help me. And the reality is yes and no. Yes, I'm going to help you as a broker, but when you're negotiating against me, I'm going to get the best terms from my customer whatever makes the most sense for them. If it means I have to credit some closing costs, then I know that that's their best option. If I don't have to credit any closing costs, believe me, I'm not going to credit any closing costs because it's not my property. It's not for me to make that decision. A lot of realtors make that mistake, so be careful with that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your customer, right? Because they're trusting you. They're paying you to get the job done and get them as much money as you can in their pocket, not the buyer's pocket, or vice versa, not in the seller's pocket, right? If you're representing the buyer. So one of the things, I'm going to give you a couple things to write down. Number one, you have to understand what market are you in. Are you in a seller's market? Okay. Are you in a buyer's market? Are you in between a market, which is what I believe we're in right now? We're in between. We're not fully in a seller's market. We're not fully in a buyer's market. We're right in between. We're making that transition. So the next question is, okay, so now I understand what's going on in the market, in the area. All right. Number two, neighborhood. What's going on in the neighborhood? That's very important, right? Many times, you'll be surprised, right? In the seller's market, you're in escrow for 30, 45 days, sometimes even 60 days, and you don't know that a home around the corner just sold for another $20,000, $30,000, yet you got $500,000. The one next door sold for $530,000 or around the corner, whatever. That's $30,000 more. You're thinking, well, this property's worth $500,000. The buyer's asking only for $10,000 in closing costs. Hey, let me talk to my seller so they can credit them. Well, not knowing that the actual property is now worth an extra $30,000. So what does that mean? That means that before you make a decision on anything, you need to really understand what's going on in your neighborhood. That's number two. Number three is your property, the house. So you see how we're pinpointing it down? We start with the area, with the city, or with just the sentiment in the market. Then you go to the neighborhood, and then you go to the actual home. Because you can be in a great neighborhood, and yet your home is not getting any offers. Either you were overpriced from the gate, which is a huge mistake a lot of unexperienced agents make. Don't know how to explain the process, don't know how to explain the game plan to the seller. So you make that mistake. So we got to look at, okay, well, we were on the market. Did we get a lot of offers? Did we get a lot of action? Why didn't we get a lot of action? What is the problem? And you have to be able to pinpoint the problem, guys. You have to understand, because a lot of times I hear, well, I don't know what's going on. You have to know what's going on. Is it the condition? Is it the price? Is it the neighborhood? What is going on? Because without that information, without that data, you're not going to be able to negotiate the best terms for your customer. Even if that means you should be crediting closing costs, because big mistakes are made all the time where, well, I'm a listing agent, I didn't get no closing costs, not knowing that the market has shifted. Things have changed. So when you're going through this conversation and you're dealing with these negotiations, you're going up against another professional real estate agent, the one that's going to win is the one that, number one, can gamble, because it is a gambling. You don't want to show your cards, right? You're on one side of the table, the other agent's on the other side of the table. You don't want to show your cards. You don't want to overbid, because then now you scare them. But then if you underbid, you also scare them. They leave. So you got to get on that phone, right, which is number 4. Get on the phone, have a verbal conversation. You have no idea how that is so powerful. That verbal conversation is probably the most powerful arsenal that I have in my tool belt. I like to hear that voice. I like to hear the the not too sure what they're saying, right? I like to hear the fact that, the agent sounds way too aggressive. Okay. I see what they're doing here. If they're way too aggressive, that means that for me personally, that means that there's weakness on the other side. Meaning, this buyer will be negotiable. The other thing that you also should be taking into consideration that is very, very important is that these negotiation skills, ladies and gentlemen, they take time to develop. And when I say time, I don't mean 10, 20, 30 years. I mean, it takes time. You have to be doing your research. You have to be doing, you're getting your hands dirty with listings and etc. Learning the business. It's taking me 25 years to get to this point. When I negotiate, I'm very, very aggressive, right? I'm not going to lie to you. It has backfired on me. Out of 10 times, it's probably backfired on me maybe twice, maybe 3 times. But let me tell you, the other 7 to 8 times, I won. So you can't be afraid of sometimes losing that battle. It happens. But you also have to be very strategic in the way you negotiate. Use those four tips that I just gave you guys. You understand what's going on in the market, buyers, sellers, or we're in the middle, right? Number 2, understand the area, what's going on in the neighborhood, right? Number 3, understand what actually happened when your home was on the market. And then number 4, get on the phone, have a verbal conversation, and listen. Listen to the tone. Listen to the cracks, to the bumps in the road, right? That lets you know that there's a way in, meaning they're asking for $40,000. In reality, they only wanted $10,000. And it happens, right? Because we do deal with buyers as well. And we do tell our agents, submit the entire request for repairs, right? Start from there. Usually, they'll come back with half. And then you'll meet them halfway. And then, you'll probably end up at $20,000 or whatever the case is. But if you start at $10,000, you're more than likely going to get about $5,000. It's a definitely a tool that you must have in your arsenal when it comes down to negotiating with other professionals in our business. So be careful, stay active, get informed, right? 8 hours a day to 10 hours a day is what you should be doing. Looking up information, calling people, staying active is what I like to call it. Not just walking into the office, looking at the MLS and then leaving, going to lunch. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, you guys have yourself a phenomenal day. I'm headed to this training, almost there. So look forward to listening to your guys' comments. Drop me a line. If you can, please subscribe. I really appreciate that. Hit the like button. It helps with, to trend these videos and get them out to more people. Appreciate you guys. You guys have a great day. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
I was a bat out of hell. One look at me, you think that I was destined to fail. 16 with the homies, ended up in a cell. And my crimes got much bigger on a different scale. Used to run around the hood, throwing my name up. Now they can't tame me and can't smoke enough. Man, this shit getting old, must be growing up. Any lesson life was teaching, I was showing up. I gotta thank my mama for her holding us down. 4 kids, she a soldier, nothing breaking her down. Welfare, food stamps, and toes to the ground. She the reason why we get it, how we getting it now. And thank God for my big bro Lorenzo, yo. Put some clothes on our backs when our funds got low. Yeah, I really came from nothing, I stay humble, bro. Grind hard and I hustle, that's the life I know. Yeah, so many things done changed. Deep rooted with my brothers, they gon' know our name. Told Ricardo, ain't no felon, we gon' kill this game. And if we take a couple losses, we gon' build on pain. See, whatever didn't break us, that's what's making us now. 17 became a father, had a reason to smile. You go hard or go broke, you can't live in denial. I chose one, went dumb and started winning in style. Fast forward 10 years, selling cribs to the people. 5 companies deep, hardest working Latinos. All muscle boy like a 6'5" El Camino. We the Ponce brothers, reppin' San Bernardino. Yeah, we do this for familia. Behind every great man is a great woman holding us down. Yeah. And our seeds are the next generation. And we teach them everything we know so that they may build on what we built.